Hi everyone, this is Karan from CII. Okay. Welcome to the CII SummitFX. And we have with us Mr. Dan Smith. He's the Managing Director for Rockstar Games. Mr. Deepak Gurejala, he's the CEO and founder of Sheetlam Games. Mr. Ramesh Anukumunda, he's Country Manager Unity Technology. And Mr. Robbie John, he is co-founder and CEO of Super Gaming. Over to you, sir. Over to you, please, the panelists. Mr. Smith, you can start with your you can start with your the presentation, sir.
Okay. Yeah. I'm Daniel Smith, and I am the studio manager here at Rockstar India. Um, it's really exciting to be part of this group. I'm excited to meet new friends and see who else is making games in India. I think I told my story to a couple of you before, but I'll kind of say it again just so um, everyone knows the background. In about 2015, I got a call from Rockstar while I was working in China at the time, and I was so excited because I'd loved working, playing Rockstar games my entire life, and working in the game business, being called by Rockstar. You When they call, you just go. There's no question. So when they called me, I was really excited to go. And one of the other things that was just comes to mind that I was working at Technicolor years before, and I was working with them to start their game development unit in India. Their art division, working in games, and I got to come to India quite a while ago and meet all the amazing artists and the people, and just made relationships that I still have today, and I'm working with those people still today. And getting to come to India, meet the people, see the culture, and then getting asked to come back to, help be a part of that team was just phenomenal. So I was hired originally to be the manager of the Rockstar dedicated unit for Rockstar, but we were working inside Technicolor at the time. And so about a year went by, and we really thought, okay, this is the time. Things are going really well. The artists and animators are really understanding the quality level we need to do, and we want to do more development. And so creating our own studio just really made a lot of sense at the time. And at the time, we really only had about 100 employees, and so shifting over, it was a little scary to start your own studio after having all the support that we had with Technicolor. But the big thing was is that Rockstar supported us just as well. Rockstar, they wanted the studio to happen. They supported us in every way. They flew in constantly to help train our employees. They helped us design like the best studio that you could possibly imagine. We made sure that we had the same equipment that any other studio would have across the world. So it was just so great to have that support. They really wanted us to be successful, and that support is what made that happen. Um, we have studios, working as a global team, we all work on the same games at the same time. So working as a global team, we have studios in London, Lincoln, Leeds, Toronto, New England, San Diego, New York, Rockstar North, and in Edinburgh, Scotland. Of course, that's the big hub you've probably heard of. Um, you know, it's one of those things, working as a global team, that really makes Rockstar special, because a lot of companies just have certain units working at some companies, but ours was basically working at, all on one project, all at the same time, working with the same files, handing things back and forth. So if you're someone that's here in India, you might be working on a prop and you might send it to another studio, and they'll give you answers right away. So you could be a junior fresher sending it to a senior or a mid-level somewhere else, and they send it back to you. So the communication isn't going through a producer to another producer to someone else, like an outsourcing unit. One of the big things about the culture, inside, being at Rockstar Games, was that we had to change that mentality of an outsourced studio of, you have X amount of time to finish a piece of artwork, game development is try and fail. It's getting in a rough something into the game, playing it, seeing how it works, and then finalizing it almost towards the end of the game. So the process of development is very different. That mindset slowly needed to change because we were all sort of used to getting a list of work to do and then trying to complete it in an amount of time, because that's how you make money in outsourcing. This is a different thing, and so we really had to change that mindset, and that was a big part. And again, Rockstar helped us so much. They even flew us back and forth to all the other studios as whenever we could, to help train, understanding what it's like to be in their studio, understand what it's like to make a game. It was just so important, and we had so much passion and excitement. Everyone that comes into Rockstar, like, they want to be there, they want to be part of it, and that passion really shows. I mean, we have the interviews for us go pretty easy when someone is so excited about wanting to work at Rockstar. They tell their experience of being at at Rockstar. It's just really amazing. I think one of the other keynotes I want to talk about, which was when we released on October 2018, we released Red Dead Redemption 2. It was one of the I'm sure you guys may have heard the news, but it was one of the biggest games ever. It broke all kinds of records. And then the greatest thing was when the credits rolled in the game for who worked on the game, all of our names were in line with everyone else across Rockstar globally. So that's when you really feel like you're part of a team, when you're not separated as a different country or a different place. They put us right in there together. And it made us all feel like such part of a bigger thing. And that just went so far to build that culture of we're part of something bigger, and that the game is so important, and the focus is the game, and that makes it really, really exciting. The future of Rockstar is still growing. I don't know if you guys had heard, but we had acquired Druva Interactive last year, and the new team is just amazing. We have just these amazing artists, animators, producers, and really true leaders. Druva's been in India for years. I think they're the first game company in India. They have an amazing track record, and we're just so excited to be working with them, and it's been so successful. Today, we are almost 800 passionate gamers, working at Rockstar. We started out with 100 5 years ago. By the way, this is my 5-year reunion month. So thank you for celebrating it with me. I'm glad you're all here for this, because then I get to meet new friends today. But with 800 employees, working alongside all the other teams, we have art, animation, code, QA, tools, audio, NoxSock, cheat ops, customer experience, and we even have more opportunities growing every day. We have a really great studio here in Bangalore. That's where the studio is located. Just to make sure, sometimes people think we're in different locations, but we are here. So that's my short intro story. I hope that was quick and helpful.
Cool. That was a great story. So I'll just. Hi guys, this is Deepak Gurjala, CEO founder of Streetlam Games. First of all, it's an honor being an indie guy, sitting among us, this big guys right up here. It's a big honor to me, first of all. So I have started my journey back in 2016 with one guy in a small town. So to create high quality games from India, that's the only aim I had. So then we made Keyboards Origins and Bombirka. We are the first indie studio to win Casual Connect Award in last 25 editions, and no Indian had won it. And we are the first Indians to win back-to-back 3 NGDC and IGDC awards. So currently we started our second branch in Hyderabad too. So we have made, in past 4 years, we made 40 plus games, premium puzzle and hyper casual games with quite a few publishers. So that's a very, very brief about me. So let's carry on. Thank you, guys.
Hey guys, my name is Ravi. I'm the founder and CEO of Super Gaming, but I'm also better known as the founder and CEO of Joom Gaming. It's a company that I started in 2007 when the iPhone first came out. I kind of think about making games by, the iPhone kind of gave us a distribution platform for games. One of the big games that we did for the iPad kind of went on to be top 25 grossing in 2010. That's when we kind of grew our company, grew our business. Being an Indian studio, growing games for the world. Today we've done about 15 large games. Our games are played by about 200 million people worldwide, generated many tens of millions of dollars. We're doing two things. One of it is just in light of the PUBG ban, I'd say that our most famous game is a first-person shooter called Mask Gun, which we started in 2015, launched in 2019, and is now being played by about 45 million people worldwide. That's kind of one of the big things that we did. More recently, our goal while we're kind of building the company was to kind of build our own game engine on top of Unity. And most recently, what we did was to kind of take one of the oldest games in the world and port it to the Joom engine. So what we kind of did was to kind of, hey, I'm going to try and put that on my screen, but what we really did was to kind of take one of the world's iconic games, which is Pac-Man, and kind of port it to the Joom game engine. So when you look at Pac-Man today, you're going to see my company. You're going to see my company's name on top of it. I don't know whether you can see it, but when you look at Pac-Man in the world, you kind of see it's kind of run by a Indian game engine company, and that's kind of been one of our big achievements. Thanks, guys.
Super awesome. Thanks for that intro. My name is Ramesh. I work for Unity, and prior to Unity, I was a video game developer. We had a company called Krita, which was funded by SoftBank and IDG. We did massively multiplayer online games. Prior to that, I was in the media space, digital media space, working for IBM for 5 years. And I was an artist. I used to use 3D Studio Max, and I'm more of an artist than a programmer by virtue. In the last 4 years at Unity, I was predominantly looking at Unity education across Asia Pacific. And the last 2 years is very exciting because India, the adoption of Unity, both for gaming and non-gaming, which includes AR, VR, and MR, mixed reality, virtual reality, and augmented reality, made us look at India in a much more larger scale and a bigger scale. And as most of you are aware, Unity brings, it reduces the friction and it makes the entry barrier for any indie game developer to quickly do a game, quickly build a prototype. And more happy to be here at this point of time in India, working for Unity. And I could never say any better time than this. Thank you very much.
Hey, I have they asked me if I would share a video. I have the latest trailer that just came out. Is it okay to show that, or
Sure.
just for some excitement?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. Sorry to cut you in. Ashish Gupta seems to have had an emergency, and we were trying to reach him, but we can't. So, there were certain talking points that Ashish had shared earlier. So maybe we can, each of you all could take turns and talk about it. So Dan, why don't you share the video that you've brought along, and we'll play that.
Sure, and then we'll get to that. This is very good. Share. Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
All right. Oh. Screen. So get out there and play.
Nice. Los Santos. Yeah.
So, does anyone have the list of questions?
So, Miss Sandra, like, are you going to ask the questions, or we have to share the questions and we have to answer them? I'm wondering on that.
I have the question list in front of you. Maybe while nobody's around, I'll kind of moderate it. So Dan, probably this is the best. You're the best start for this, which says, hey, what are the 3 big challenges when producing AAA quality games in India, and what are the benefits in India for the same?
The 3 biggest challenges. I think that the challenges are basically getting the word out to other people that we can do it. I don't think that's my, if I wasn't in my situation, I would say that would be the beginning challenge, but we didn't really have those challenges because we knew what we could do, and we knew who was here. I mean, there's so much talent in India that there's no way it's not possible. I mean, not just games, but films and the quality of work that's done. I think it's just finding someone that, if it was whatever it is, it's just getting the word out there. And I think having more talks like this, in front of the right people will help that. But there really is not that many challenges. I mean, it's just like any other place on earth. We have the passion, we have gamers, we have people that have dreams of making their own games, as everyone here on the call has those same dreams. We all wake up every day, we can't wait to play a game. And I think we've got a lot of fans out there that want to be part of this. So I think the challenge is just getting the people that have those questions to see that, a lot of the games in the world are coming out of India. The thing that we're doing with working globally is really, really a key thing for making the bigger titles, and working with other teams around the world, because it takes a large amount of people to do, the open world style games that we do. And so it takes a lot. I think we do a really good job with, recruiting and finding the right people. We have a very long process of finding talent. It's not just putting, what we say, like putting someone in a chair isn't what we're trying to do. We try to find the right people that want to be part of Rockstar, that can't wait to come into work every day and have that passion for games. And that's what's fun. It's like when you go into work and before work starts, everyone's already playing your current game just for fun before their day starts. That's when you've got something. And the funny thing is, it's always me and the other, like there's a whole bunch of us that are already there, and that's what makes the rest, everything work, is because your passion for what you do, you get to do every day. And so I think that those are the important things.
Ramesh, you've actually seen and worked with literally every studio in India, both what you currently do at Unity and earlier. What's that big change? Are you saying that our ecosystem is now ready, like Dan said? It says that, hey, our ecosystem is now ready to produce world-class games across all parts of the country.
Yeah, definitely. I would look at this with a 3-pronged approach. Now is a better time than ever. So when I started video games, we had 3 big challenges, and those 3 big challenges are now literally disappeared. The first one is we made a game which was from a very, very successful MMORPG game in China, which made $2 million monthly revenue. It had a latency it needed latency less than 400 milliseconds to do a massively multiplayer online dancing game. I'm saying about 2006, 2007. And that time, internet connectivity was a big challenge to get to your last user and give a very unified experience. Today, that was disappeared. There's no longer complaining on internet. That's a big blessing. And the whole gamer community in India is now on par with global. Correct. The second challenge when we started game development is we used to go to GDC and buy books on 101 for dummies on game design, or the 100 lenses of game design. And then we go to those sessions and try to understand game design, which is beyond instructional design, because when we used to hire people, there are a lot many people who wanted to come and join us because there was a lot of limelight around gaming. Even 20 years back, people loved to come and join for gaming. And they come back and say, hey, game design is instructional design. No, game design, you got to design economies, you got to design fun, you got to have a core loop. Oh, what is that? And everyone who joins us, okay, shows a lot of potential interest. By the time they do one game, mediocre or somewhat okay, casual game, which can go on a mini clip, they find a next big job with with a hike. And retaining talent or finding talent with good design skills was a challenge in the past. Now that has changed, dramatically changed. Now we have a lot of international migration of people coming here and working on. And the third challenge, which was very big, was whenever we used to go and try to get talent from the top-notch schools and said, let's groom this talent. Like we go to an IIT or IDC or Institute of Design or Fashion Technology, they say that we could convince the potential new hire to join us like 15 years back. And after 2 weeks, we get a sorry email saying that my father or a mother would not see this as a credible career option. and they would go and want to join an IT company, right? And we were fighting it big time, answering to the Robbie question like 15 years back. Now also the problem would be there, but there are a lot of educated parents. I myself ask my kids to play 1 hour a day minimum, otherwise you're not growing your cognitive skills. and you got to collaborate. And today, thanks to whatever form of negative things which we all suffered due to COVID, but I see today gaming has improved in the COVID scenario. Today, social interaction online has improved. I have 3 kids, and like the 2nd standard, 5th standard, and 8th standard, they had computer classes. They go to the top-notch school, but it was only half an hour a week. They were denied accessing computers, but they did a jump start of, they went 10 years ahead, where they know how to use Zoom, they know to use Skype, they know to use WebEx, they know to collaborate. They created their own clan on Clash Royale. They have created their own groups on gaming. So gaming is definitely changed, Robbie. Answering the 3 prompts is, yes, internet has changed the world. Game designers are now available, and there is less parental, I'm not saying it has gone, less parental resistance. And the third one is the positive side of this lockdown has a positive impact on Indian gaming. That's my limited point. I'm not going to expand on it.
Thanks, Ramesh. I think Ashish is here. Ashish is the moderator for this entire thing. Welcome, Ashish. Ashish, I've just been filling in for you. We kind of, on the first question, talking about the challenge producing AAA games. I'll just go to Deepak. So Dan kind of shared what he's doing at Rockstar. Ramesh kind of shared what he's seeing from a Unity as well as a 15-year landscape. Deepak and I will speak next. Deepak?
Yeah, I'll talk on behalf of all the indie studios in India. So we have to tell what are the challenges we are facing for making a AAA game, right? So the first and foremost for any indie studio is funds. Without proper funds, we cannot start a big project or do that. And second thing is knowledge. So whatever we start, like we just see inspirational candidates like you start a company, and we don't have a proper knowledge on how to make a game. From past 2 years, whenever I attend conferences, whenever I attend being a speaker, many students comes to me and ask me like, I have an amazing AAA concept like a space shooter or this or that. Like when the output is like so low, they don't know where to go, where to find the knowledge. That's one big challenge to make it. And third big challenge for any indie studio is that, okay, we started a AAA game. Let's say, there are quite a few AAA games are getting ready through indie studios, and midway through or 80% the game is completed, and the main developer or designer, they leave the company because for better perspective. In India, that's happening a lot. And from past, I mean, last 3 years, if there are 100 companies opened, 90 studios are closed just because like people are just moving out of the company. In bigger game studios like yours, you have a standard set of salaries and which indie studios cannot give them. So when this kind of three things are happening around them, indie studios cannot make a bigger games. And the same way, there are a lot of pros are there for making a AAA games. Let's say this year, like last month, Raji was released. It's an amazing folklore kind of a game from India. We are proud of it. It took 4 years for him to make the game. So if you make a AAA game in India, the focus is so high because the competition is low. So the focus will be higher. Okay, these guys made a AAA game from India. That's one thing. And comparable to any other country, the budget to make a AAA game or AA game is pretty much lower. So it's really, really nice to start in India and make it, but not giving up. So these are the points I just want to share in this. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Deepak. From our perspective, we're not in the AAA league yet. We kind of call our games A+. That's kind of how we think about our games. But, we've been fortunate to kind of be around for a really long time. Being around for 13 years, we've been able to attract talent. I want to actually thank Dan and Rockstar and Ubisoft and every large studio that does work, because we do attract people from all of these places when they eventually want to make their own game. They kind of come up, meet up, and I think gaming is about that. I think that ecosystem gets built around people who want to make games. Gaming is hard. It takes 10 plus years because, you've got to assemble the perfect storm. Designers, programmers, artists, producers, all of those people need to be in one place. And that's really what we've seen in our journey. It took us 10 years to kind of produce a really big game. And, probably it'll take us, 3 for the next really big one. That's kind of what we're working on. But I kind of think that, hey, we already have one big advantage, which is today when we hire somebody, they've already gone abroad, studied abroad, worked and learned probably from the best gaming colleges in the world, and they've come back. So we actually have a lot of these people who actually come back and do work with us. We kind of have always worked not just as a employer, but also with a lot of indies that worked with us individually, contractually, and with people all around the world, which is kind of up the quality of all of our people. Some of our game designers are just the topmost game designers in the world. We get them to come and spend a few months with us in India. That kind of levels up our entire team. That's kind of helped quite a bit. And so I kind of think that, hey, the last 3 years have been the fastest growing years for us. And I kind of see that growth continue unabated. Ashish, you want to take over?
Yeah, I'm sorry to join late. I was trying to Zoom app is not working. Anyways, to all of you, I wish because we have seen so there's an ecosystem now, and everyone has working either AAA title or crazy casual titles, and I have few questions. I mean, about next level. I myself see a lot of culture changing within the game developers. I'm talking about indie game developer community, international game developer, and also studio like Rockstar and Ubisoft work in India, established in India like 5 to 6 years. EA is like 10 years more. I see culture changing within the game developers, and how it is going to impact the next steps. So I wish to understand from you guys, because you're running the studios, what are the culture changes and how it is impacting for the next steps? I mean, the next level of gaming in India.
Sure. Dan, you want to go first?
I'm gonna let you go, Robbie.
So I'll go first. From a cultural change perspective, earlier when we hired people, they didn't come with a background of games. They not actually played on a lot of these games. So the most frequently played items in our office were actually the game rooms. So we actually had an entire floor of our building dedicated to just game rooms across all of it. People spent a lot of time playing these games. Where that culture has changed today is that anybody who comes in now, I make a Counter-Strike like game for mobile, so it was kind of mandatory for everybody on our team to have 10,000 hours on CSGO. Today, the difference is when I hire somebody, he already has 15,000 hours on CSGO. He's already got the next 3 titles that he's already played, so we kind of changed as an attitude as a company. We didn't have to tell people to play games. So now what we tell employees is come here, but don't listen to what we tell you to do. Tell us what to do next. That's kind of the next generation of developers that we're hiring, whether it's developers, artists, they already know some of these techniques, arts. They kind of interned at some of the best places in the world, gone to, whether it's a Van Arts or, an art studio in Singapore, came in from working at Ben Namco in Singapore, or, even at Rockstar abroad. And, that's kind of the talent that we're now seeing in our office already. And I think has a huge impact because it levels up everybody in our company.
The other change which I have seen between the gaming companies and the studio, we are in talking with almost everyone in India. I've seen the people are now more open to reveal their titles, their technology, about their level design, and also about their problems. Earlier, I mean, when I was used to work in my first gaming company, we were working on a lot of titles, but things were not so open. People are not really open. When I say people, mean the company. They were not really so open. We were like working like Bollywood movies. Hey, this is my script. I'm not going to tell anyone about it. But now I see people are quite open, but in a very positive way. I mean, I think studios are helping each other by sharing the problem, by sharing the challenges, and also the solutions. But I think one thing still missing is what we are going to the next level. I mean, uh, industry is I still feel scattered. Uh, we are a little far from the fact that industry has a governing body and everything. But I think we need to give more impact on the next step towards the maybe innovative thinking, maybe innovative business models, revenue models specific for India, customized for India. So maybe this culture changing will help us in achieving that.
I think I want to add to what Robbie was saying about people coming in and already, knowing more about games than they ever did before. I think it's getting access. When we first got here, we did the same thing. We actually created game rooms throughout. People didn't even know what they were. And I said, you can just go and play any game you want. Just play, have fun. They were surprised by that. And the next level we went to was that every new employee, we actually gave them a PlayStation to take home. Because what we wanted to do was take that idea of gaming and bring it to your family. Because remember we talked about earlier, what was the problem? The family didn't buy into what this was because they didn't know what it was. So we said, look, give every employee something they can take home, show to their family what they're working on, and get them to know that the PlayStation and the Xboxes do way more than what you think. There's a lot more entertainment there. There's things you can do. There's educational things. There's games for all ages. And we really brought that culture in. And I think just more and more of that will bring in more excitement for the future for people that we don't have to do so much ramp up and explaining how games work, where they're coming to tell us how games work or what the latest games that they just played. We have this big thing now where we play the latest games and we all talk about it on the weekends just for fun. Just like, a couple people get together and we want to talk about what's the latest game. Oh, did you play that? Where are you at? Of course, with all this work from home, on Zoom, there's a lot more of that. We just do pizza parties where we play games and talk about it. And it's really that culture is getting better and better. And I think, more and more will people come to these studios, and when they're ready, they'll be coming with their own ideas. And I think that's also changing. And it's just going to get better. So I see those opportunities for everyone to have ideas coming instead of we won't have to, like what Robbie's saying, we don't have to train so much when someone's coming with their own ideas. Like, hey, I played this is what I want to do. I've already designed it. I've got the tool. And you're like, great. Okay, put you here, go do what you want to do. So yeah, I think it's looking good. It's better than ever before for sure. Even the last 5 years that I've been here, it's changed.
No, everything is evolving with the technology. Seriously, back in 2016, developers are reluctant to make a game which is more than 50 MB, and the users are reluctant to download a game which is more than 50 MB. Thanks to Geo, they just came up, they gave 1 GB per day, and people are like, okay, now we download. The same thing, and again, from past 2 years, the hyper casual thing came up. So they watch videos on the net, like what is the most satisfying thing? Okay, I can make a game with this most satisfying thing. I make this game. So when users see that, okay, this is nice. This is just a 2-minute gameplay or 10-minute gameplay. They are evolving. The the developers these days, they don't require much of a support to make a 2-week long games. They are learning on it on Unity, Unreal Engine. They're coming up with the too many updates, which is like self-explanatory. So that's really helping developers to make a really, really good games. So to understand it, and it's giving the best output for all the players out there. So culture has changed. Just last 4 years is the example, best example for in the game industry. That's that. And when it comes to lockdown, seriously, like 3 months lockdown, now all the parents and children are sitting on at one place and playing one single game. I never saw that in India, especially in India, like parents and children sitting at one place and playing that. And still now it's unlocked. The whole India is unlocked. Still they're playing. They're taking half an hour or 1 hour and they're playing. That's really giving push to many developers like us. And instead of it's a gaming, people are thinking gaming is a sin in India, a taboo. So now the parents are sending the kids to look at gaming as a profession, right? The culture has evolved a lot. Yep.
Yeah.
Change perspective.
We could see that apart from playing games, I could see that the video consumption on gaming has increased a lot. Last 6 months, we can see the good consumption on watching video of related to games, maybe a walkthrough, maybe a streaming. And the good part is even non-gamers are watching now. So I would say 5 to 6% people are. From a monthly active user perspective, around 5 to 6% people are watching who are non-gamers. So someone who doesn't play a hardcore game or doesn't play even casual game, he's also watching and trying to understand what it is, because data is very economical now, and people don't mind watching something which is right now not of their interest, but they might develop an interest. They develop an interest on gaming video also. I could see that change happen. That is why now I think developer will also be very. If they are observing very well, they could also get the feedback from the ground, the actual end user, the ground reality, right? If someone is not able to download a game, not able to play the game, maybe not able to understand the game, maybe everything is fine, the community is not building up, right? So those things are now easily available. Earlier, it like game were created by gamer, played by gamer, but now we see a lot of non-gamer into converting to gamer. That's very important for India.
Yeah, and from a change perspective, what happened is early days, people used to look at everyone play big titles and they pick up an engine and say, bingo, I want to do it in a week or 2 weeks, and they fail miserably. Now, the big change is people understand the broader, people in the sense developers understand the broader segmentation of a difference between a casual game, hyper casual game, and working for a big gaming studio like Rockstar or big gaming studio where they make big titles, do a lot of research, and the trickier part is still there is a lot of confusion in early adopters who are getting into the career between an indie game developer choice to any specialized one track that they can choose and create meaningful stuff. And that's where Robbie gets the biggest challenge while hiring people. And that has not changed. There is a lot of counseling needed for youngsters.
Yes.
And not even youngsters, people who are in the industry for more than 2 to 3 years, doing some kind of a gaming, but it's like the same analogy where 5 blind kids goes and discover an elephant, and everyone describes their elephant in their own fashion. The one who catches the trunk says it's a pillar. The one who touches the ear says it's a fan. But everything put together is an elephant. The same way, today when we see the change, I think there is need for academic intervention of not just gaming as one major, gaming in at least 5-6 different categories. Gaming as casual gaming, gaming as mobile gaming, ability to do design, and gaming as hardcore gaming. So that's where the change has not happened. I agree with all the good changes which has happened, but if I need to push one more notch, there should be more segregated channeled counseling during the second year of engineering so that they can put the next 2 years for good use, so that we get better interns at Robbie Studios and at Rockstar Studios.
I think from the technology perspective, you, Ramesh, has done a lot for academics in terms of giving at least technological training for a gaming from Unity perspective. That I have seen. That piece is solved. I mean, you work towards it like, yeah, but that is only one piece.
One piece, and we are yet to put all our hands on the deck and solve it, because I don't think Robbie gets the right kind of resources to the extent what he wants, or neither Daniel from Rockstar India gets what he wants. Everyone needs to invest.
So Robbie, Deepak, and Daniel, do you still feel that we have a lack of talent in design in India still? When I say design, I mean game design, not the art.
I think design definitely. I think, it takes time for somebody to have shipped a game, understand customers, understand nuances. Because in gaming, you're not solving a problem, right? You kind of have to come out with understanding, so to say, meeting unmet needs.
Yeah, you're creating something. Yeah.
Right. So meeting those unmet needs, kind of understanding it both from a user, gamer, ecosystem, timeline, market, all of those perspectives is really hard. Which is why, it either is very young people who kind of had this really innovative idea, or it's really old people who've kind of been working on these things for very, very long, which is kind of the ideal mix of people. In India, we have plenty of the young kind of talent. We don't have the old talent that's kind of worked on a lot of these games. I think, studios like us kind of trying to bridge that gap by having studios in the US, having studios in Singapore, where we kind of get people in, work with large brands, kind of make those connections in the industry. It's been, for me, it's been 12 years that I've been going to PDC and kind of getting help from all of it. It kind of helped me because my early studio was an educational games company. Every game designer that I met was eager to help me. So I actually met game designers that actually did Quake, Doom, Halo 3, and kind of got mentorship from them because I was kind of trying to make things better. I still go back to them and kind of learn quite a bit. And that's kind of what I think is really an important part. That industry is now coming together. I think that kind of coming together, being closer, having those standard bodies that everybody goes to, and like Ashish, what you said, it's just that people are more open these days. I think a lot of that was hidden, and unless you went to a GDC, you wouldn't even know what that concept was. But now you can actually watch Walt or watch any one of these videos, and you'll actually find that person. You follow him on Twitter. You'll figure out what he's doing next. You'll kind of learn from that much faster. So I think we've not evolved yet, but we're evolving much faster than we've had ever before. And that's really positive from our perspective. That's really what we kind of think is going to change game development in India in the next 3 to 5 years. One last point that I like to make is, because of our success, our ambitions are a lot bigger now. Which means that I'm not trying to make a game that, 5 million people play or even return revenue for me in the next 3 years. I'm now going to make a game that 100 million people play. My last 2 games have had 40 million installs each with fairly large audiences worldwide and monetized well. I want to go after the 100 million market. I want to kind of, talk to people and say that, hey, by the way, you don't really have to make a PUBG out of India. You can make one in India as well. That's kind of the way that we think about all of these things. And we're going after it with a specific Indian taste. And the reason is the domestic market has come of age. The big thing earlier is that it was a small segment of the domestic market. But now, not a single day goes by when I get an Indian guy saying that, hey, thanks for making this game in India. I get at least 35 emails a day, which kind of say this. And that means that I do not write made in India anywhere. I'm not trying to advertise it. I said people should play my game because it's a great game, not because it's made in India. But people go look at the credits, find out that it's made in India, and then come back to us. So I think that's crazy, but that's what we're kind of seeing as a changing sign. And that's, like it or not, you still have Indian tastes. I think a lot of people will prefer doing content. In fact, last 2 years, we've actually been doing Diwali, and this year also, which is really the poster behind me, which is kind of saying that, hey, we do Diwali in our games for all countries worldwide. So have people in Australia, New Zealand, the US come back to me and say, hey, Robbie, what's Diwali? So you kind of explain it to them. But that's really what I think games are. Games are a showcase of your culture. Games show who you are, their identity. So you might look at that character in there, think of him as Ravan or Bahubali or all of it. But I think of him as that's my character out there, because earlier I used to have a handlebar mustache before I got married. So I looked at myself in the mirror that way. So, being bold enough to take your culture there, it's kind of something that's coming of age. And I think that's the big change inside of it. The Indian market coming of age and demanding you to do better.
Also, what I have seen when I meet with a lot of indie studios, in fact, or like small studios, everyone's talking about really big numbers and big revenues. My message and my suggestions to them is go go fast in development, that's fine, but go slow. I mean, do not dream of really becoming I would say Rovio in one day. You cannot.
Correct.
It spent 12 years, right? So the expectation needs to be set right. I mean, I'm, on my last webinar and with some other agency reporter, I was saying, emphasizing the same thing. We all need to understand. When I say we all need to understand the same thing, that we have to set up expectation right. Right. You may be serving a very small or maybe medium size of group of users, but set them right, give them right content, right, and you will grow. And you will grow. Definitely. I have seen some games, maybe the numbers are not really in millions. I mean, yeah, of course, they may be 5 million, 6 million, but they're still making money. They're still making a lot of money from advertising perspective. They're still making money from the rewarded video perspective. So you need to set your expectation right. I think one product is right, maybe very smaller ideas, but then you will learn more and grow more rather than competing with the global studios and thinking that, okay, we can also do that, is not going to lead you. I mean, every time you cannot be successful for that. I mean, this is what I've seen. Everyone, it's good to be ambitious. It's good to be perceive something which you really want to achieve. But expectation needs to be set right.
I'm the best
People,
example.
yeah, people. When I'm at a studio, they think, "Hey, can I get money like Latin America and India?" No, you cannot. Sorry. At least initially, you cannot. Yeah, you have to understand the base. The Indian users are different, and we have too many different subset groups. We have housewives who are not earning, maybe, but is still contributing a lot in terms of what needs to be buy. No, they are influencers, right? And they play, and they also play games now. Right? We have a kid, they play game. Then we have a lot of such audience who are sitting at home. They just want to try hands in gaming because they are bored of video. They want to go for interactive media. But these two groups are very separate groups. Someone wants to try hand, someone knows what he wants, someone really want to inspire the global gaming standards. He knows what he wants, right? So we have to create content for everyone. So there's ample market for everyone. This is what my message is. You need to set expectation right and make a product as per that. I mean, it's every day someone comes to me, Ashish, I've created such a wonderful game. I'm not able to make money. Help us. So I think someone needs to think before he does things instead of make a product and go for the market then. And this is my message to the indie studios. It's good that they are working, but for as we understand, for them it's a big effort.
I'll just give you a best example for that. Like as Mr. Rajesh was saying, to all the indie studios, I was very ambitious, very fast. I wanted to make a game. I made a game, and it was utter flop. It's a debacle at the industry. And for all the indie studios or indie developers who are looking at this video, it took me 16 months to get my 1 rupee mark. It took me 16 months to get my first penny. Now I'm unstoppable, right? I have earned my 70 times more than what I invested, literally. It took me 16 months, man. If you go faster, yeah, develop faster, but you need to optimize your game so much, like 20
Yes.
times, 30 times, 40 times. It doesn't matter. There is always a scope to make it better. You always don't think it's 100% correct. It's 99.9%. It is done. There is always scope for 0.001%. Make it better.
Yeah.
I'm the live example for Mr. Ashish, whatever he said. Yep.
Fantastic. Yeah, one line from me would be saying that create a world with more play so that there's a lot more fun in the world. And at Unity, we believe world is a better place with a lot more creators. And the creators could be game developers, gaming in multiple new formats of augmented reality, virtual reality games could be the new era. Thank you very much.
So as the ending ceremony, I would like to give, I would like to hear from all of you one concluding statement, if you can give it to our audience.
Sure. I'll go first. I want to say that, hey, I think gaming is about making people smile. I think at Super Gaming, our new company, we kind of think that people are in lockdown. We offer the best form of entertainment. We think that tasteful social games, party games that you can play with friends online is something that is not well done in India. That's really what we're doing. Creating a billion smiles is kind of what our next vision is for the company. I want to wish everybody all the best, and hopefully we can create a lot more gamers in India. Thanks.
Yeah. Dan, message from you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that being sort of the new kid on the block in India, I feel so welcomed and loved by everyone in India. I love the culture of India. I love being part of it, and I'm so glad that we have a development studio here where I'm learning so much about India as much as they're learning about Rockstar Games and what we can do. And I look forward to getting to know more universities and schools here and working with them to help them understand there is careers in games, and getting the word out there that there is more and more opportunities, and getting to work with people like you that are just really making a difference. I think if all of us have that mindset, we'll get bigger and better opportunities for people to get into games and make this a future. And so thank you for everyone on this call. This was really great. I feel like I've made some new friends forever. Thanks everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, Pranam.
I would say only one thing: don't give up on your passion. Many people, if you fail the game, just don't go to IT sector, man. Just sit, give your best. I mean, if it takes months and months, it doesn't matter. Just give your best. Be patient. When you want to win a game, yeah.
I have seen your journey. You started gaming, went to IT, came back into gaming.
Yeah.
So I understand. Yeah.
The thing is, don't just give up. I mean, if as a player, whether you play CS:GO or Dota, doesn't matter. You don't give up, right, until you win the game. So don't give up. Be patient. That's the best thing. And talk to studios like these people. Come to us. We'll share knowledge. I mean, there is a lot more in gaming. It's not pre-production, production. Post-production is a lot more. People and newcomers will never know about it until you experience it. So come out, talk to us, you'll know more. So all the best to all the developers out there who's looking at it. And thanks to all the panelists for being so nice. It's an honor to be here. So thank you, Mr. Ashish.
Thank you, Deepak. Ramesh sir, anything from your side?
Yeah, one thing I would say is everyone is a gamer. I would not say anyone can be excluded not being a gamer. It could be social, including a housemate to anyone.
Yeah.
Same way, everyone is a creator of content, and we at Unity believe world is a better place with a lot more creators, and everyone need to look at making world a better place by adding play. And when I use that is anything what you don't like doing it, if you think about a game and you start doing it, you can really start doing those hard tasks. So I would definitely see that the way play is the natural way to learn, and play is what makes life much better. So that's how I am very passionate about this industry. And every gamer, game developer need to take their career in that same aspiration. Thank you very much.
Ravi, how you can conclude in a summary about the next step on the monetization part, and also for the ecosystem to grow.
Sure. So quickly summarize. Thanks again for everybody. I think everybody here, like Unity, Rockstar, all the people that you hire, the indies, developers with aspirations, you all helped create the community. I think now with Geo especially, you've helped create the other parts of the ecosystem, which is creating the consumer side of it. And that's not just players, but also, the entire community, whether it's influencers, streamers, people who are ready to kind of invest in gamers, sponsor streamers. That entire community coming online has led to a lot more monetization that you had to rely on, which is somebody just having to pay you $60 to buy your game. You've kind of opened out all of that, Ashish, representing Geo, kind of thank you for all of that. You've kind of given all of our ambitions a platform, so to say, with this whole new digital India. Lockdown has been a boom. for all of our dreams and aspirations, we aim to kind of solve real problems even better with a more realistic view of the world, like you kind of mentioned, and kind of understanding how to plot that journey rather than just being ambitious and kind of failing. Taking measured steps, figuring out what your next milestone is, hitting it consistently, has led to a lot more that we kind of think is working. I'm just grateful to be in the industry, working with really nice people. The one thing that I've learned about working in the gaming industry, everybody that you meet that works here is one of the best people that you'll find. So kind of thanks again for everybody. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, Robbie. I think we don't have any questions raised by audience as of now. Anyone can see that? Any personal questions to anyone? I don't see that. I think everything is okay, fine here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Ramir. Thank you, Jovi, to give you valuable inputs here. I was a little late because I was not able to join earlier. Really sorry for that. Things are going well, and we have a good message for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
A big thank you to our panelists for taking the time out to be a part of the session. Thank you for sharing your company growth stories and wonderful insights on the gaming industry. Hopefully in the next couple